Welcome to the Happy Beyond Fit podcast today with Betsy Dopico. You have seen her performing in 10 different Zoom volumes, every single fitness concert, promotional material done for Zumba, TV infomercials, TV interviews. You have seen her everywhere. You have seen her dancing in your town, traveling the world. She's one of our top celebrity Zumba presenters. And today she's here so that I can get to know Betsy at a deeper level, at a very spiritual and energetic type of level. Enjoy every second of this conversation. Thank you so much, Betsy, for giving us your precious time and your knowledge and your passion and your love. Thank you for spreading happiness and making us happy throughout this episode. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy it. Betsy Dopico. Amiga, officially welcome to the Happy Beyond Fit podcast. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. What an honor to have you here.
That's my actually honor for me. I love to be here, and it's been a while that we know each other, and I am so happy to have the time actually to talk with you.
I know.
Even if it's in your podcast, but having this time of conversation together, it's priceless to me. So I'm so happy to be here too.
Friendship is a little absurd because we love each other deeply, truly, genuinely. We live, well, let's not say that close because with Miami traffic, it will take us an hour and a half to get together. But anyway, we are close in the same city. And we still don't get together because we are both into our own projects and yes. Okay, amiga. So I want to get started by acknowledging that you are a part of Zumba's DNA and we all know it. You've been a part of so many Zoom volumes and so many promotional material for Zumba and infomercials from back in the day when social media didn't even exist and fitness concerts. And actually, I do remember that I believe you only missed one fitness concert. And because Beto was trying to invite other people to the fitness concert. And I remember after that year, everybody was so pissed. And I did say to him, if you don't bring Betsy and Gina Grant back to the fitness concert, like people are not going to like your fitness concert anymore. So then you guys came back and then you've been like signature stamp for fitness concert. And it's been beautiful seeing you. We all know your success. But there's one thing that catches my attention. And it's the fact that you are the only person I know in Zumba. We've been in the Zumba world for 19, 20 years. But you're the only person that I know that everybody likes. Like, how is that possible, Betsy? Like, we all know, no soy monedita de oro para que le guste a todo el mundo. We know, not everybody's going to love us. How is it possible that there's not one person in the Zumba world, in the millions of people that come and go in Zumba, that says, oh, no, Betsy, no, I'm not too fond of her. Like, it's impossible. You're just so likable. So
really?
can you please tell me what's the secret? Because I know you don't intend to make that happen. But what do you think you have that the rest of human beings
That's
lack?
So crazy. Well, first of all, it surprised me because I really think that, we are not monedita de oro to everybody. But I don't know. If I try to understand what it's that, I think it comes from how I see people. Like sometimes I feel like a fool, like a little kid with that mentality of I am always
like
trying
naive?
to see the good in everybody. It's a conditioning that I have in my subconscious mind. Even if I try to see and judge or whatever, because we are human beings and sometimes we do it, I always come back to see the good in everyone. It's something that is part of me. And I think because we are energy, people feel that from me. That when I hug someone, I really hug someone. When I say hi to someone, I really say hi. I am not playing a role or a character. Never in my life. I always try to be very pure from my heart.
But amiga,
even when I have to say something that is not nice, I try to say it.
But how can you, if you're teaching a session at Zumba convention with 800 people taking your masterclass, and at the end you're hugging each one, How can you truly hug and see and acknowledge the person when we're in a hurry? We're in a timeline. We have to do the
I
same thing
know.
with 800 people, take the picture. Like, how can you be that intentional?
I don't really don't know, Maria. It's just that I always been very intentional in my life since I have conscience of my life. Sometimes people don't even believe it, and I don't care, because I know it's true. I know what I know, and what I know it's enough for me. I never try to convince anybody that how I feel of how I truly are in presence in everything in my life. It's something that it come with me. I don't know if it maybe I take it from my mom or I take it from some
Okay,
ancestor.
so
I don't
let's
know.
let's take you back. Do you have siblings?
I don't have siblings.
Oh, you're an only child.
Yeah.
Okay, and growing up, how did your parents describe you as a little girl? Like, what do they tell you that you were into, or what kind of person were you?
This is so funny, but I never did problem to my parents. I was always very like,
You even did it to your parents. You're so likable. You didn't give them anywhere, woman. You were born with some special energy, special touch. It's
well,
very rare.
if that the case, thank you God for giving me that, whatever it is. I don't think I never see it as a special because it's part of me. And I remember I always been very like conscious of of the consequence and my responsibilities and everything. Like I am always very conscious of okay, where is coming this? This is coming from the real you, or is coming from some conditioning, or is coming from just pretending. What is coming this, Betsy? It's always an inner conversation. And it's like very natural to me. It's not like I have been, of course, I have been evolving. Everybody has been evolving because I made so many mistakes all the time too. But the intention part is always honest.
Okay, how do you approach conflict? Let's say you have a misunderstanding. Maybe you were organizing an event and somebody that it was supposed to know didn't know for whatever reason, wanted to compete with you, organize an event at the same place at the same time, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like kind of upset because this is happening. I don't know if this has ever happened to you anyway, so I'm just
Yeah,
making it up.
exactly.
Okay. And then you are upset, obviously. How do you approach conflict in that case?
Always I observe first. I always observe what is the real situation, and I try second step after observation. I try to put myself and don't take it personal. I try to see the situation very from outside, okay? Not bringing my emotion because I'm very emotional and sensitive. So if I bring my sensitive emotions, I will probably explode because that happens so
Okay.
many times in some relationships, even with my kids, my ex-husband or whatever. Like when I bring so much emotion to the scene, I can respond by reaction, not by consciousness. Okay. So what
Okay.
I always do is I observe and I say, okay, this is not to me. This is probably something that the person is having a bad day or whatever. The person, I think is empathy, the word, the description of that. And then if I don't like something, I will tell. And sometimes I'm very black and white that the person doesn't understand why I'm so no filter at all to say something, but I never tell anger with anger. Like I always try to say like, you know what? I don't like this because I think it's the way you are acting to me. It's not okay. It's not fair. And I don't like this way. And we need to find how to find a solution. And sometimes it's a problem because when you have, for example, a teenager wants confrontation. And why you are avoiding the confrontation? Because I don't like confrontation. I don't want to confront. I don't want to fight. I want to communicate. I want to agree. I want to find a solution. And then that's a big problem because sometimes when you try to always find a solution, people take it like you want to this is not a solution. I just want you to hear me. And I just want you to feel how I'm feeling. And I say, okay. So I just feel you. Sometimes it's misunderstand from
Uh-huh.
people, but I truly pay attention.
So, but you did say that sometimes you explode when it is like with a partner, with your ex-husband, or so. What you're trying to say is that it's more difficult to separate yourself and not take it personal when it is a very intimate relationship, right? So, how about with like a person that is above you, not in in an intimate relationship, but let's say Beto Perez. Have you had any conflicts with, because I know how close, in case that people listening to us
No, and
don't
we
know,
had so many conflicts.
Beto
Yeah.
and Betsy have worked together for years and years and years. They have a very strong friendship. And on top of that, they were business partners. Betsy used to own a dance studio. Then Beto became a partner in her dance studio for many years. Then they moved to a bigger location. They were still partners. Then I don't know what happened there, but were not partners anymore. And then so I am sure that it's been challenging to keep your friendship with Beto while keeping the partnership, the work partnership, right? So, for example, how have you approached conflict with a person
Okay.
like that?
So Beto sometimes in that case specifically, he's very sometimes rude to say something. He's
No
rude.
filter, no
No
filter.
filter, but rude, like a rude. Not just not filter, rude. And I'm very sensitive, so my first reaction is always like, it hurt me, right? That's the first reaction, but
Do
I
you
don't
cry
say. I cry, I
on
move
your own?
out, but I don't respond at the moment. I always observe. That's my first always step. I observe because I have to see what is real and what is not real in the situation, right? Why I am taking it that way and why at that moment I cry because it hurt me the way he told me, or it's not fair somehow the way he was telling me whatever he was telling me. And I cry because it hurt me, of course, it's my feelings. But then when I just let it go and I just release the pain or whatever came, the emotional part, and I put that out, that cloud, then I say, okay, how am I going to respond? Always polite, always with love, because if I respond this way, I'm going to say something wrong or something that I don't want to say. So I always let go that moment, even if the person think that I'm dramatic. I don't care what they think. I just take my moment to release whatever comes in that case. And then I come back telling him, I think that this is not fair. I think the way you act to me wasn't okay. And I do not agree with you. And whatever comes, and then he always, after that comment, he always, even if he didn't say sorry or he never say, you are right, because it never would come out from his mouth, but he changed the attitude and he let me know that he listened to me with the actions. That's the way we were always having a good partnership. And that's why I always, even when in the middle of a concert, he was unfair with me so many times, I just went to my room. Okay, this is not personal. It hurt me, but let it go. And then I came back. Okay, I didn't like that from you. And you have to change that way or whatever. And he always, even sometimes I didn't need to tell him. He knew that I was already taking it out and he needs to change because he knew he messed up. He already knew me that way that he said, okay, I know Betsy is not going to react, but I mess up. I'm going to change. And that create like respect. I think the
Sure.
war between us at some point, and I think for the rest of our life, is respect even when we are not working together that much anymore because I do not agree with many things.
Okay.
And if I do not agree and that things are going to create incoherence in my lifestyle or the way I think or the way I act, I will never sacrifice my coherence and my peace for anyone.
Beautiful. When was the last time that you remember because I know this has taken years of work, obviously, to learn how to regulate our emotions, right?
Of course.
But when was the last time you remember that you exploded full of emotions on somebody?
Well, I explode sometimes with my daughter
Oh, okay.
or my
Yes, of
son.
course.
That happened. That
Yes.
happened. Of course it
Yeah,
happened.
that
It's
one
not,
will always happen, I believe,
it
even though
always
we
happened.
try our best. Yes.
Yeah, it always
But with a
happened.
person other than your kids, when was the last time you remember that?
I have been controlling because I used to be very explosive at that point before. Like I let my emotions run my actions, but I don't remember what was the last time. Okay, it was actually with Beto and Alberto Perman.
How long ago?
It was in August
Last
last year
year.
before convention. Yeah, because something happened unfair. And before to ask what happened, I just took the phone and I said, and I think it creates more distance, but it's
Did you regret it?
no. I
Okay.
think we have
Did
to be
you,
human. We have to
okay.
be human. You know, even
So
when
you
we
don't beat
try.
yourself up after, like,
No,
you
I
knew you
just
could
say
have regulated better, but anyway, you don't beat
I
yourself up.
talk. I talk and I say what I have to say after. And I say, okay, I understand the situation was a little bit confusing. And it wasn't that I wasn't right. It was that I react immediately, right? I was right, but I react so emotionally immediately because I was hurt very bad.
And
And
you were
I
in
say,
front of
okay,
them, in the moment with them.
yeah, I just
Okay.
call and I just
Okay, you called.
say blah,
You
blah,
were
blah, blah,
not
blah,
with
blah, blah,
them.
blah, blah.
You were not with them. You grabbed the phone and called them
Yeah,
and threw up on them.
yeah. But then we are okay. It's not the same, but we are okay.
Okay. And what do you do after, for using that example? I'm sure you finish that phone call and your heart rate, because our nervous system gets all fired up. It's like survival mode, right? What do you do to bring yourself back to balance?
Always breathing is the only
How?
way.
Which kind of breathing in particular?
Well,
Because I know you're a breathing master.
I use one technique that is from Soma. It's not just from Soma, but I
What
learned
is
in
soma?
my Soma. Soma is the institute I am studying, but that's something that create immediately calm in your brain. Your brain is like the rhythmic, breathing technique that you use. One, for example, if you breathe in one and you double to exhale, you exhale on two. Then you try to breathe two and exhale on four. Then you try to inhale on four and then you exhale on eight. You always double the time of exhaling. And then it creates a rhythmic breathing pattern that at some point you are breathing less than 10 times in a minute. And your brain system get calm, you create more oxygenation in your body, and also you create the ácido nítrico, nitric acid, helps your brain to open and
Oxygen to
eliminate
the brain.
the inflammation of the moment because the stress or whatever happened at that moment create inflammation in your brain and your frontal lobe. So when you have that, you don't have the clarity enough to respond. That's why breathing for me always, I discover it by experience and then I start looking for studying more about it. Because always once something created anxiety on me in the past when I lost my baby, and we can talk about that. It was, I lost a baby between Camila and Pablo. And I remember I couldn't breathe. I was always like this. And
Shallow
I
breathing.
forgot how to breathe properly. And I got so many problems in my stomach, problems in my back, problems to sleep, anxiety, blah, 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 blah. And I realized that it was because I wasn't breathing okay. So I started fixing myself how to breathe better. And every time, in every year in my life, I get better on breathing. I get better in life. And when my mom was going through all the problems, all the illnesses at home and everything, it was very stressful. And the only way I could, even not just maintain my calm, but the people around me, because it raised your vibration immediately. When you calm your breathing, you immediately level up, you raise your vibration. And when you raise your vibration, you connect with better emotions, higher frequencies of energy, like no anger, no anxiety, no, those are too low. So you calm, you raise your vibration, then you can control and you can create that environment around.
Quick note to remind you that if you're enjoying this episode, please share it with somebody else. In this way, you help me to grow this project of these beautiful biographies of greatness. Thank you so much. Let's get back to Betsy Dopico. You have a certification in these breathing techniques? Awesome.
Yes.
So, because I want to get deeper into that, but very
You have to
quickly.
do it because you're going to love it.
Definitely. No, I'm in love with breathing techniques as well, but it's not that I practice them, but I don't know necessarily the difference between one and the other. So that's my question. What's the difference between the breathing you just explained and the one and the box breathing? The one that you inhale for 4, hold it for 4, for example, then exhale for 4
The
and hold it
box
for 4.
is more like a very easy way for people because it doesn't need so much practicing. At the end,
Okay.
the box and the rhythmic variation helps everybody. Every single way
They
of
are
technique
similar,
helps.
right?
Yeah, all the technique has the same purposes, which is calming your brain system and helping you to be more clear and focused and etc., etc. But this one specifically increase the amount when you use your nose and you exhale in 4, that rhythm, specifically that rhythm, you have to focus more in the breath work because it's hardest to do it.
With the one that you explained.
Yeah, it's hardest to do it than just the box because you try and when you are like this, to keep that rhythm take long. So you bring your attention to the present moment faster than with the box, okay? And also, when you are creating that rhythm, the nitric acid accumulated here faster, and then that allows you chemically to release the inflammation faster than the other one.
So if I start doing this breathing and I start 2 and exhale for 4, inhale for 4, exhale for 8, inhale for 8, exhale for 16.
Yes.
That's what's the max that I'm gonna reach?
The max is
like,
the
inhale
purpose.
one.
No, the purpose is to get less than 10 breathing per minute because this is the moment that you really calm yourself. When you breathe 10 times per minute, and if you actually practice for a minute, 4 and 8, you're gonna have exactly less than 10 for 1 minute. Exactly. So this is a count that it's already proven that you count. Okay. And what happened with the
So you
other
recommend that one more because I'm more fond of the box breathing.
Yeah, the
And
box
if I do
what happened
box
that when
breathing,
you are,
it's like 4 breaths in a minute.
it's more a grounding exercise, the box. Than it's more a grounding
Than
exercise.
calming.
Yeah, it's a grounding exercise when you are like disassociated or something. It's a grounding exercise that immediately bring because when you hold the oxido de carbono, I'm sorry because sometimes the words in English
carbon dioxide.
Yeah, exactly. When you hold it and you exhale, it sends faster the oxygen to your brain, right? And that's what happened with the box. That is like it's like compression, right? You hold, and then when you exhale, the oxygen goes whoo faster. And then again you hold, and then whoo, and then you are sending that signal immediately to the brain. So it helps you to ground very fast. That's why for kids and everybody who doesn't know how to breathe with a guidance, because sometimes for those type of techniques, that's why you have to become trainer. You need to accompanying the person because it's hard to take that rhythm, right?
Okay, now tell me which is the suggested breathing technique when I am excited. Let's say I'm about to get on a stage to teach a master class or to do a big presentation. Which one is the suggested one?
Well, for that case, I recommend 4 and 4 because it increases your energy. Like same inhale, same exhale.
Okay.
For 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes before I get on the stage.
Yes, it increases your energy and your anaerobic capacity.
Okay. Does it make a difference? Does it make a difference in which position I am?
Always with your spine have to be aligned. You always need for any breathing, posture is, and because you are always defending posture. When you are in a good posture, everything goes well. Because
so good posture, whether I am sitting on a chair or standing up or laying down.
But always your spine aligned and relax your neck. And for me, one trick, it's like you go to your position, right? Then you imagine that your belly button is touching your spine. When you do that, your rib cage go up. And after that, you make a circle and relax your shoulders. And that's the best position.
So it's to adjust to align
the
before
position.
You get started.
You bring your belly button in, you bring your rib cage up, relax your shoulders, relax your neck, and that's the most convenient position.
What's the suggested breathing if I have to have a conversation with my boss?
Oops. Okay, you do the box.
Okay.
Very grounded. Very grounded. Very grounded. Something also good is if you do some exercise of movement before to go into the interview, you can actually move and do some squats. Okay.
Why is it good?
Because it helps your body to activate your center of energies. And we are talking something more now, like the center of energy are in your spine. When you analyze the body, not in the physical skeleton and muscles and organs, but you see the electromagnetic field around, right? When you compress the energy vortexes, or people call chakras, or people call in other ways, you compress and decompress, they expand. So that's a very nice exercise. Like you inhale, you exhale.
So movement is
And go
also
down.
going to help me to align my chakra?
Of course, movement is energy.
Okay.
Movement is energy. When you are moving, your energy
So the
is
more
moving.
tense I am, if I have to talk with my boss, the more stressed out I am, the more compressed I am, the more my energy is going to reduce.
Exactly.
And that's not
And
going
then,
to help me to
and you
accomplish
are
what I
showing
want.
to your boss fear or not confident or not trusting yourself. So it's important to always go to an interview with that confidence, self-confidence, and use for some people work the movement, for some people just work to be quiet and close your eyes for 2 seconds. Another thing that I can recommend you that I use one of my mentor from India, she told me that you can visualize a wall of blue light in between you and the person, because blue light is communication. And then you are setting an intention of good communication. And I remember one time I applied that and it worked, because it was a very, very tough conversation with the person. And in that person's hands, I had the opportunity of my daughter to come back to the school. And I say, this is one chance. And I had to convince this person that my daughter deserved to go to this school. No matter it's homeschool and everything that is against of her, he has to say yes. And I did that, and I just came and I say, okay, Betsy, relax. Everything is okay. I think also the PNL, the neuro-linguistic part is very important, how you speak to yourself. And at that moment, I say, everything is okay. Everything is okay. Everything is okay.
Amiga, what do you think about
I visualized
this?
blue and everything went okay.
Because you visualize the blue wall.
The blue. I say, you are not going to cross that line.
Okay, so now that you mentioned how you see the energy and visualizing the blue wall, I don't know why I just remember this. What do you think about this theory that, these X-ray machines that we go through at the airport through TSA, the one that makes us stand up with the arms like this, that it shows when you step out in that little image, it shows where your energy is located, most of your energy. Like it really tells you the energy. It's not just the metal. Of course, it's going to show the metal, but sometimes it just lights up and you don't know why. And it's because you've been concentrating your energy in that side. Do you believe in that?
The machines?
The machine, yes.
Yeah, of course. I think that's very easy because we are radiating energy all the time. And that is machine that was made to see your electromagnetic field. It means that they are proving that we are energy.
Because I heard Joe Dispenza talking about this, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
What he said.
And then he said that he discovered this and he was just sharing that with some of the people in his seminar, that he had just gone through the airport and that the machine lit up and that it was not because of metal, but it was showing the yellow thingy in the center of his chest. And he was like, yeah, I believe it's because of I was meditating and I was like sending love, the love frequencies and blah, blah, blah. So then he was sharing it, and somebody else, there was another person that was like, oh yeah, I've been investigating on that. And that is like legit. It shows where your energy is. Yeah. So then they started playing around with it. So then because we travel a lot, I travel every weekend. I was like, okay, I'm going to
We are showing the energy all the time.
So then I did it one time and I was like in the car meditating. I parked the car at the airport because I live in the parking space. And then I was just meditating and channeling and sending, like increasing my love frequencies and blah, blah, blah. And then I went through it and he showed it on my chest. And I was like, yeah. But then last weekend, I did it again.
I have to pay attention.
Pay attention. And we don't go through that machine much because we have TSA pre-check. So we go through the other one. It's every now and then that all of a sudden we have to do it. And then so last weekend I had to go through it. And of course I was not prepared. It was not intentional. I was like, oh, I wonder what's going to show. And then it showed something on my throat. I was like, what is going on with my... Here. Oh, look at me. Ta-da! Maybe I was stuck, right?
Yeah, maybe it was...
in the throat
something
chakra.
You have stuck there, some energy stuck in the throat area.
Maybe.
Something
and it made me realize I really hadn't spoken at all in the whole day because it's one of those days that you wake up, you're on the zone, you're getting ready to travel, you get ready, you pack, and then you go. And And my boyfriend was not with me that morning, so I had not spoken to anyone. So maybe that's why it was yeah,
blocked,
tried.
maybe. Yeah, it
I
has
know.
sense. The thing is that energy is always up and down, because I can be meditating for 2 hours, but then I go to pick up Camila to the school, and in the next life there are an accident, and I don't get on
Exactly.
time. That's a stress.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come back to the studio and the light in the back doesn't work. And it happened every day. Like we are
Constant.
all the time having circumstance. Chaos is part of life.
So, amiga, I know you're an expert in chakras too. So I found
No
out
expert.
in
I'm
the last,
always a student.
yes, the forever student, but you have a lot of knowledge about it. So I just found out about the how important the chakras are and to maintain our energy field strong in the last 3 years, because I had to face a big challenge with my health, that I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. It was very clear to me since I got the diagnosis that it was not caused by food or lack of movement or lack of a healthy lifestyle, because I've been a big promoter for that and a practitioner of it.
Yes.
So I was like, clearly this is coming from somewhere else. This is coming from my emotions, my own way of seeing life that is stressing me out. So it's defeating the purpose. I work so hard to keep my life healthy, but then I'm killing myself internally with my emotions. So then I had to go through my whole process of reinventing myself, pretty much a whole new personality. But then in the process, I realized, because I was experiencing so much pain, my body had zero energy. Like, Betsy, I would wake up in the morning. It was so much pain. I could barely sleep for a whole year. And then I would wake up, and the first thing, as soon as I opened my eyes, was scanning my body for pain. And depending on the intensity of the pain, I would know if I was going to have only 2 or 3 or 4 hours of functionality during the day before I had to go back to bed because the pain was so
Even
extreme.
eating all the good food and everything.
Yes, it was like the pain on my neck, on my shoulder, on my spine, on my joints. It was super intense. And I didn't want to take medicine because I wanted to explore first. Let me adjust. Let me find the root of this. And if I don't find it, then of course I'll need the medicine. But I ended up putting it on remission, and it's been wonderful. But anyway, in the process, I started learning how important energy is. And I thought, since all the pictures we see of chakras, when they are explaining the chakras to us, they show it to us in perfect alignment. So I put 2 and 2 together. I assume all of our chakras are beautifully aligned. And then I realized, like, oh, oops, that's not true. Like, the chakras can go like it's a mess.
It's frequencies.
The goal is to bring them to alignment. So then you recharge your energetic field. Then your body has the energy source to heal itself.
There are
obviously
so many...
my chakras were everywhere. So which kind of practice, something easy that we can do, what would you recommend for us to balance our chakras?
There are so many ways, and I think this is very personal to find the best way for you. But always, what I learned from my mentors always is like, the first thing you have to do is raise your vibration.
How?
Because all the disharmony comes from, even when you eat okay and you have a very healthy life, we had subconsciously so many patterns of thoughts, right? We have belief that we are not aware of that. We are not conscious of that, but they are still there. And they lead your actions. They lead your thoughts.
They control
even
our personality.
You can repeat so many times, I'm a healthy person, but inside of you don't believe it. It can happen in some person. I don't mean that it happened to you, but I mean like some people can say, I'm a very healthy person, and they repeat it, but they do not really believe it because they have something inside, some mechanism, some belief that come maybe from mothers or grandmothers or experience or traumas that they don't remember from childhood, right? That's still there.
It's the incoherences between what we're saying about what we're really being, which is the hard thing to get to.
And the real alignment comes when you can synchronize your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical body. It's like you have to, that's the biggest challenge of everybody in this life.
Quick pause to remind you to please click on follow on Spotify or subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can help me to grow these biographies of greatness. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the episode.
Try to balance, not balance. I don't believe in balance because sometimes balance
me
is
neither.
not the word, because being at the same level doesn't mean that it's harmony. Maybe I need more of this and you need more of this, and reverse. Like a harmony, it's finding that point that keep you in an alignment, right? So for me, the first one is breathing, because the only way, and there are so many people talking about that in our days. Thanks God, now everybody talk about that. The only way you can quiet your mind and your thoughts are so powerful, because if you cannot quiet your mind, you cannot meditate, you cannot have control of your emotions, you cannot.
Yeah, but that's so easy to be said than done.
Yeah.
How do you freaking quiet your mind? It takes.
Breathing, just breathing. For me,
Okay.
it's the only way, because I am a very controlling person. In my case, I like to control everything, because you know what to
It's
do.
safety. It means safety. Yes.
Exactly. And also my experience of life, I had to leave my country since I was 19. I had to take control of my life by myself for so young. And I have kids early, and I always have to control things. And you create a controlling personality, because you want to control everything to be okay for you, for your
Because
family.
you are in survival mode.
It's a survival mode. So you have to learn how to switch that. It always.
So what you mean is that when you're breathing, because you have to concentrate on counting, I count to double up the exhale all the time. Therefore, you unplug your mind from your emotions and your thoughts, and you're just focusing on this. So it's an
Yeah.
easy trick to calm the mind.
It is. It's actually, I think, the only effective way, because you can dance, you can move, you can stretch, you can go out to, but even if you go out to nature, what are you doing? Even if you are hugging a tree, but if you are not in presence and you are not disconnecting from your worries, you're still thinking the same. So for me,
Correct.
the
You
first thing.
just bring your stress to nature.
Yeah. So that's what we do all the time. We avoid to confront all the time. We are actually, when I started doing my movement and intention thing, was because I observed that, for example, in Zumba, people release stress, but they just postpone the problems. They do not confront the problems. And it's a beautiful moment of joy. But then what I do with this joy, how I channel this joy into my life to transform what need to be transformed. Because if not, I am just repeating the pattern and going class to don't think.
Correct. Not only postpone and distract you from approaching your conflict and finding a solution.
Yes.
Because on top of that, you live on a high, and then you think everything's good
It's
now.
like
You're so
living in a high. It's like a
distracted.
drug. You take a pill,
Yes.
you
Yes.
avoid, you don't have to think, but then your life is a mess.
Correct.
But it's still a mess because I don't care. I go into class and I forget about the mess. And then again. And eventually, as a human being, we always gonna find ways to survive and move forward, of course, but it doesn't mean that you are transforming anything.
And I know that we're in alignment with our programs. Look at you. Yours is let's make happiness trendy. And you've been in this movement for, I don't know, 15 years at least. Same as me, that I've been with Happy Beyond Fit as the life coaching program for 14, 15 years as well. And it's because we saw it clearly. We're like, this is such a distraction from
Yes.
real life, from
Yes.
mental health. It's just like being on cocaine. I mean, equally to that being
100%.
that
Yes.
high.
Yeah.
And then you just get so distracted, and then you get more addicted to going to a Zumba class because that's your way to escape your
The
reality.
reality. Yeah,
And that's what
exactly.
we've been wanting to bring conscious of.
And
That
but then you see how many people, because you found a way to discover. I found a way to discover, and I think every person has the capacity and has the purpose of discovering that. It all depends. The levels of evolution come with how much you are open to accept it and start looking for ways and tools and like real things.
and how much we're willing to not drink the Kool-Aid of our own success. Because
Exactly.
it's so easy to feel that you are in service to others and that you're doing so much good for others constantly with your Zumba classes that you don't need to work on yourself and improve in your intimacy of your family. Your family is the real mirror of
It
who
is.
you are. It's not the Zumba class. It's not all the people that are giving you amazing testimonies in a Zumba class. It's your family members who have to live with you every single day. That's the real mirror. So it's like, yeah, we need to stop drinking this Kool-Aid. Yes, it's a beautiful thing that we get to do, and we adore Zumba. But let's not get delusional.
Yeah.
Let's continue evolving our personality.
That's why I try to bring the idea of combining with the intention when you teach, because if you change the teaching action to a tool to bring those people into that transformation, not just avoiding, but also the transformation, you create the proper energy in your class. You are also working in yourself because you are committing with more than just the class. You are committing with the real happiness. You are committing with the transformation. You are committing with being a channel of transformation and transmuting all those negativity into positivity. So when you use intention, because the intention is something that it's actually in the metaphysics, it's photons. You liberate photons, and that's photons, which is energy, can create, because it's like a phototherapy, something like that. It's create electric reaction. It affect the way your body going to respond to certain circumstance. So that's why when you want something so much from the bottom of your heart, you got it.
What's phototherapy? Because I saw it on your website and I was like, what is
the
this?
phototherapy, fototerapia, en español, phototherapy. It's like when you react the temperatures of your body with science, because what I was talking was about some patches. Those patches have nanocrystals, and the nanocrystals, when you place it, those are nanocrystals, those are crystals. It doesn't have any substance or anything there. It's just crystals. But you put it in the body, the reaction of the temperature of your body activate those crystals. And los péptidos de cobre, copper peptides.
Copper peptides.
Yeah, peptides, they activate and they go straight through your skin, connecting all the neurotransmitters, right? And then it changes the response of your body. The response to illnesses.
Such as what? It can help to
responding
release
because cuando tú te pones el parche, okay.
So it's patches. The
Son unos
phototherapy is
patches que los creó un científico para ayudar a los the scientists that create this. He created to help the army at the war. He was part of the military funds from USA. Okay, they have funds for that investigation, and they placed those patches on the el ejército, the army, to recover faster from the battle, so they can have more energy for the next.
You
one.
mean I need this to recover from teaching training?
Yes, you had that. The X49
so you sell
is
the
made for
patches?
that.
You sell them?
I do. I can send you the link. And actually, if you discover it activate it, what happened with the age? When we are aging, las células madres, the stem cells, start to deactivate. They deactivate so many. Every day, more and more and more. And it's internally. You can use all the Botox, you can use all the creams, everything that you want externally, but internally, you need to reactivate the still cells to produce collagen and everything you need to keep your body healthy, right? So the phototherapy, when you place that, the copper peptides, they activate the stem cells.
Atika Minero is also into it, and she was telling me about it. So, for how long have you been using these patches?
Oh my God, it was maybe October.
Okay, yes. So it's recent.
It's recent. It's supposed.
Okay, tell me in all honesty, amiga, when is it that you feel that your body needs extra help with recovery? Is it because after a week of teaching so many classes, or what hits you the most? Because, of course, I know that you don't teach B1 trainings as often as I do, because I do teach it twice a week. So when do you get to feel that you teach classes every day?
I teach classes every day.
How many classes every day?
I am teaching mostly 1 or 2. There I have days I have 2. There are days I have 1. And also I record for my online portal. And also I have to wake up very early because I have to bring my daughter to the school, and I have to before to leave the house, I have to let my house clean, my dogs, the lunch ready. So when I come back home, it's all done, or I place clothes to
So
wash.
my
You know, as
question, let me ask you the question better, because based on my own knowledge of my body, when I teach, because I know three strategies. So I do sauna and I do cold plunge and I do it once a week, the protocol alternating 3 times in a row to regenerate my cells, and the sauna has infrared light, and then I do a lot of different things. So when I teach trainings, virtual trainings that I'm teaching on the camera from home, I know how fast I recover from that. But when I travel, amiga, the traveling is killing my body.
because the radiation, that's what happened with the traveling. The radiation on the airplanes is really high.
Is it because we're so far from Earth, from the
Yes,
ground?
from Earth,
The
the
altitude.
high of the plane, but
The
also the radiation of the plane. The plane has to radiate to be captured by the signals.
Oh my God, I'm obsession.
It's a lot of
Killing
radiation,
me.
and we are absorbing that. That's why you get swallowed. That's why you feel so
Like
tired.
today, I arrived last night. I'm swollen. My eyes are puffy. My
It's
my
crazy.
intestine. I'm bloated. I'm like, my goodness. And it's the plane. It's the freaking plane.
It affects so much. And I tried the patches when I went to Argentina. I went to Argentina and I used the patch to go. That actually, when I went through the machine, they asked me, "What is that?" In the airport, in the TSA. What is that? It's a patch.
How
It's
long does
nothing.
it
You
last?
can see. No, no, it's okay because they saw it before to other people, but they were like, "What is that?" Because it's energy, right? You can see the energy when you go through the machine. But I use it and I didn't get swallow my feet. That is something I felt very. And people ask me actually, what you did to your skin? And you know me, I don't use anything, even makeup. Like I don't use it. Not because it's just my way of being me. It's me, my personality. And people ask me, what you did to your face? What you did? And also I have a dermatitis in my knee, and it's getting better and better and better and better and better every day.
So it really helped you with the long hours of the flights,
Yes,
the plane.
it's supposed. Yeah, it
Yes.
helps you because it recovers your body immediately faster.
Oh my God, I need that. Like, to be honest, amiga, I'm avoiding going international for Zumba
I
events.
know it's hard.
I'm like, for me, it's no longer worth it. I'm like, yeah, it could be beautiful, but no thanks. Like, the amount of time it's going to take for my body to recover from that, like, it's not worth it anymore.
What
Like,
I learned, Maria, something I have been, because sometimes how the world is going, and you see how much radiation we have every day with the cell phone in the hand.
mhm.
We have the signal is everywhere. The
Like,
internet.
I have the cover that
Yeah, I
protects
do have.
from
I
the,
do have
yes,
too. But still, like we are exposed all the time.
constantly. It's
All the time.
unavoidable.
The pesticides, even when we try to find the best food or whatever, is there. Like it's everywhere. We cannot avoid it. I
Mhm.
was actually the other day doing a live on Instagram telling about that, and Kathy was making a comment too about that. Like sometimes I feel, I don't know if you remember the movie of Bruce Willis, the fifth element,
Huh?
when she watched all the story of the humanity, and she watched all the wars, and she see everybody from the Holocaust and everything. She start crying like what the human did to the world, right? So sometimes I feel like that when I go out and I see this is not in my control. This is not in our hands. This is something that it's global, right? And the only way, if we truly believe in energy, we truly believe that everything has a vibration, which is every day more proven by science, right? Because it's every day more and more and more scientific proof about that we are energy. So we need to understand that the only way to don't let that kill us is for us, each of us, raise our vibration different ways. What you eat
And
has a vibration. How you breathe.
in normal vocabulary,
Yes,
raising the vibration is knowing how to raise your energy. How
yes.
to, instead of deplete your body of energy, how to help your body to increase the energy. So going back to the question 30
No, no,
minutes
no.
ago.
And it's okay because it's good to say it's not just elevate your vibration, is that imagine everything you touch, everything is vibrating. Like you can see, I don't know, the music, for example. Every sound has a certain vibration. Every word has a certain vibration. Every color has a certain vibration. Every food has a certain vibration. There are a Russian machine. I don't remember the name now. I owe you that because I'm very bad with names. I will try to change that mindset of myself that I can remember names.
Correct.
I will try to reset that, but I haven't yet. But there are a machine that actually you can see the frequency of everything, of even the rocks, the minerals, the piece of earth. Everything
Which
has a
are the
certain
ones that are
frequency.
recharged. Yes, that's the one that we need to go touch to
Exactly,
try to
because
get that energy from.
material and physical things come when the energy vibrates at certain amount of vibration that you can see it. That's how we work in the entire universe. It's been discovered by Einstein and everybody. Everybody, even in Socrates and Pythagoras and everybody from Greece in the ancient years, everybody
Yes.
understood that.
So, amiga, I like sharing my experience because I know you've been into very mindful about vibrations and energy for way longer than me. For me, this journey of energy started literally 3 years ago with my rheumatoid arthritis. And that's when I started researching, okay, so tell me, where do I go? Like, how do I raise my energy? What to do? And then I start learning how we have always heard, yes, go walk barefoot and in nature and touch hug a tree, blah, 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 go to the sun, go to the ocean, all of these things. But then it never really spoke to me until I really needed it. So then I learned, okay, I really have to go do this. If that, hey, there's nothing to lose. If this is going to help my energy, then I'm going to go hug rocks and trees and be at the beach the whole freaking day, which I hadn't had the time to even go at the beach. You know, I live in front of the beach, and for 12 years, I will go to the beach only once or twice a year. Having the beach in front of me because I was so busy on a plane, traveling, going through the world with our beautiful Zumba career. That is a huge blessing. So anyway, it's no joke how important it is to understand energy. So going back to my question, how do we
Yes.
balance the
Yes.
chakras?
So
You
let's come
started
back to
with
that.
breathing. Mm-hmm.
Mira, not everybody needs to be very aware of that, but there are things that are already proven that works to raise your vibration, to raise your energy, which is breathing.
And then what? So I already did my
You
breathing for
breathe in the
5 minutes
morning.
today. Then what do I do?
Another very important tool is how you talk to yourself, the affirmations. But something that is wrong with the affirmation, if you repeat an affirmation that you don't believe, you are not
It's
going to connect with that.
incoherent.
You don't connect with that.
But
You
there's
need to
also this
find,
other theory because I read this book, Tell Yourself a Different Lie by Marisa Peers. And
yeah,
she's a psychologist and she's telling you, a hypnotist. And she's telling you, you got to hypnotize yourself, reprogramming yourself. Even if at the beginning you don't believe the lie, it doesn't matter. Just keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it. And
the
eventually it will
repetition,
become the
everything.
truth. Mm-hmm.
It's
But it's
practicing.
repetition. Yes.
It's repetition. But what I mean is at the beginning, maybe it doesn't resonate with you. Like, for example, if you don't believe you are beautiful, you can say something one at a time. Like, for example, you go to the mirror and instead to say, I'm beautiful, and telling to yourself, I am not beautiful, you find something. I like my hair. And tomorrow you say, I like my hair. And actually, I like my eyebrows. And then you start rediscovering a new relationship with the perception that you have. And then the affirmation start to have more power. And repetition and repetition and repetition and repetition.
Okay. So breathing and then consistent
Affirmations.
affirmations. What else? Then
For
what do we do?
for me, always is good to have, I do fasting, for example. I do fasting because it
How
works for
long are
me to
your
have more
fasts?
energy. I know 12 hours
Ah, okay. The
from night.
daily, regular,
Sometimes a little bit more
intermittent
because
fasting.
today, for example, I haven't eaten in the morning and I'm perfectly fine. I don't want to eat. I feel so good. I have been doing everything I had to do perfectly because I eat well the rest of the day.
Yeah, I do the same.
But if you don't do fasting, at least drink water in the morning because your body is 70% water. And at night, most of us, we wake up 30 because
Thursday.
at night, your body is trying to restart, is trying to recover, is working for you. When you are resting, your body is still working for you. Like when you are relaxing, your body say, okay, this is my time to work for you because you are trying to control me all day. So when you are not connected with your conscious, I can work with you. And of course, your body needs water in the morning. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I think, and also, and you are very, you are more specialist on that. Alkalining our body is very important. Like if you don't have a filter, if you don't have a certain type of water, at least put some lemon in the water and drink it, because you need to alkalinize find your body.
Yes, raise the pH of
That for me
the
works.
water.
That's all my thing. I call that my 5 minutes in the morning. My 5 minutes in the morning, I wake up, I breathe, I say thank you. That's something you have to create a habit, because gratitude in terms of frequency is one of the most higher frequencies. So when you practice gratitude, immediately you elevate your vibration and
yeah, there's nothing that beats
you feel
gratitude.
good immediately.
Yes.
Right? And it's a kind of
Amiga, but you're telling me that by doing this, I align my chakras that are messed up and they all come to the center in a line?
No. We are raising the vibration yet. But the vibration is important to harmonize your chakras, because if not, if you put so many yoga poses, but you are not aligned with your emotions and you are not taking care of your breathing, you are just doing whatever. You are just repeating something that other people do, but you are not actually doing it for a good, right? So for me, breathing, water, affirmations, and mobility. Of course, we all need to move our body. Whatever works for you. If you don't
but in your knowledge of chakra alignment, does a Zumba class align the chakra?
Yes, it does. How it does? With intention.
What do you mean with intention?
With intention. For example, when you are teaching a class, the person doesn't need to know. Why? Because not everybody is open to do that. I do classes, for example, in Kala Center, Ismail Kala Center, for people who come for retreats. They come open to that. I can mention, okay, let's focus now in our legs. Okay, when we move our legs, let's balance the energy that comes from root chakra. We are connecting to earth. Just think about your legs. Don't think about your core. Don't think about your arms. Just focus in your legs. And when you
rub your hands together.
Rub your arms later, and you will feel immediately like a boom. You feel your hands moving. You say, oh, wow, I have more energy now.
So you mean when I'm doing the choreography, con ganas, baby, con
you can do
ganas.
it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
Am I doing
But
this?
no, when I do is I set the intention at the beginning of the class, and I tell to the people, we are gonna, our body is a priceless gift that we have. We are going to move today, and we are going to actually use our body as an instrument to balance our energy and to increase happiness in your life. Immediately setting that intention, people get more receptive.
Okay, but let's say I don't know how to do that and I did not set any intention.
You can do. Every person
are people still, the students, are they still balancing the chakras with a regular Zumba?
Better than nothing, yes, because you are moving. And when you are moving, and you are moving your hips, you are moving your legs physically, you are moving your core, you are moving your arms, you are creating vibration in your body, and you are actually activating your kundalini, famous kundalini, which is supposed to be the two serpientes que se mueven así, that move like this, increasing the vibration in your body. What happened with the Zumba class, and it's the only thing I changed. Everybody is saying,
what I want.
We work a lot with the lower chakras. We work a lot with the feet, like the root chakra, which is survival instinct. It's feeling here now. Yes. We work a lot with sensuality, creativity, passion, rah. We work a lot with confidence and willpower and trust. Yes. We work with love and connection we are all the time connecting with other people. We work expressions because we are singing, screaming, clapping, listening music. But what happened? We never do nothing for the 6 and 7 chakra, because we stay in the excitement, and we need to come back to the harmony, and the harmony needs to be completed with breath work, a proper stretching, like a really proper stretching to oxygenate your body and allow your mind to expand after all that energy. If you don't let it expand also to the upper area of your energy field, your electromagnetic field, it gets stuck, and it will going to se va a descompensar.
So how's your cool down in a Zumba class different than the regular Zumba class?
I do 2 cool downs. After pre-cool down, I use 2 cool downs. One to make the people breathe.
2 songs for the cool down. The first song,
I
just
made them
breathing.
breathe and do mobility, soft movement, very like a coming to the, and then when they stretch, the last song is more intentional. I try to find a song with a proper lyric that encourage the person to feel good, to align with themselves, to love themselves. So we say, because the meaning of the word is also vibration, is also energy. And that's the way we have, because I cannot go into the person and say, close your eyes. And now
I know, and that's the challenge. We cannot
yes.
really open the crown chakra in a Zumba class unless
No,
you get everybody into meditative state.
exactly. But we can bring the people to that meditation state with a song and breath work.
Okay.
Because it's an active meditation. Not all the meditation has to be sitting down on the floor. The active meditation is actually a very powerful meditation for those people who cannot quiet their mind.
Mm-hmm.
They
Okay.
start feeling something after the class that it's new for them, but it's good. It's new.
Okay, so if you're telling me that just movement in general is going to help unblock the chakras, let's say that my heart chakra was supposed to be in the center and it's like over here, it's like stuck. And then, so just movement is going to help everything to flow.
To balance.
That's what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah,
Yes,
to
to bring it
harmonize.
in alignment.
Yes. What happens is that if we increase that energy and during the class is harmonizing, but then you don't physically give a break to your body to breathe, all that energy gets stuck because it's so much. And all the cases, less than too much is not okay. You need to balance that. You need to harmonize that. You need to create like compensation is the word.
Correct. Uh-huh.
Compensation. You have to compensate your body and your energy, because if not, you are liberating endorphins, you are liberating dopamine, you are liberating so many other hormones, but you need to calm your brain after that, because if not, you stay like, that's happened. And then, but you are not taking calm from that. You are in a very excitement mode. And it's not healthy neither to be all the time excited. That's why many
Correct.
people, when go to convention or no, let's move out of Zumba. Any big event, a concert, ultra, blah, blah, blah. After so much
there's got to
high,
be a crush. The body's designed in a way to bring us back to homeostasis, to
yes,
balance.
exactly.
So the higher we go on a high for days in a row, then the more your body's going to be forced to bring you down before you come to homeostasis again. It brings you down on a crash first, so then it can balance.
You teach your body to compensate every day. It becomes more natural.
Correct. Then your body doesn't have the need to crash you.
Exactly.
Because you are bringing yourself back to homeostasis.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the consciousness that I would love for us to share, for example, for all of the team members when we go to Zumba convention. Why are we so drained after Zumba convention? Why are we so tired? Because we're not doing what you just said. We need to bring ourselves back down. We cannot be on a high, on a high, on a high for the session, and then the party at night is another high. And then we get emotional and we're tired, we're not sleeping, then we fought with somebody. That's another high. Arguments
and your
are
brain
high.
Doesn't rest.
Then the drama with the people around you, with your roommates, it's another high. And then you go to another session, it's a high. And the picture with Beto is a high. And if you don't learn how to breathe and bring yourself back to balance, the body's going to make you crash. It's the only way to
That's
go
what
back
I
to
was
homeostasis.
telling you when I was mentioned before that we live in constantly chaos. Those are extreme moments or circumstances like conventions or events or master classes. Those are extreme circumstances, but every day we have chaos. Every day.
Every day, constant.
So for me, the way I found, and it's funny because when I do my retreat with my mentors, everybody do like calm things. They do one do sujok, the other one do yoga, the other one, and I go with Zumba everywhere. And they say, but I like the Zumba, the Betsy Zumba. I like Betsy Zumba because I always at the end bring that element. And I think it's important because it's a way to train yourself to keep that compensation, that you don't even need to go to a specific another, because we are running out of time, Maria. People who come to a class, they cannot also go to a meditation class after that because we have 1 hour.
Correct. You're
And
lucky
that
if
hour
you can
has to
invest
be
an hour of your day in
efficient.
physical activity. Yes.
Exactly. So what I try to do is create that habit of compensation every day in our life. That's the
Beautiful.
way I see it, and that's why I
Yes.
continue studying. And I know I have this course, but I continue looking for another things. And because I think that's the beauty of our career as a teacher, instructor, coach, however people call us. But it's to find, and that process comes first from me. I do always that for me because that's the way it works for me, and I share with other people. It doesn't mean that it's the last word and it's the completely truth. Maybe for other people works differently. People meditate writing. You can write. Actually, it works a lot in the morning when you vomit whatever comes to your mind that worry you, and then you break the paper. It's also a way to release.
Journaling is so freeing. Yes.
So free. It's so amazing.
And you understand yourself as you're writing this way.
Yes, you release so many things in that moment. There are so many ways, and every person has different ways, and you going to synchronize more with one way than another one. Some people are more into. I do like to take care of my food, but there are people who doesn't. But it doesn't mean that I cannot help those people, at least to create that balance during the class, that harmonization during the class. That actually, when you start doing that, the good news is that when your body starts to feel that harmonization, you start to feel when you eat something that is not okay, your body starts telling you, this is not okay for you anymore. Because when your energy starts
This is beautiful. But I want you to say, how can the body be talking to you? How is it that you're telling me that the body talks and that the body tells you not to eat a certain food?
For example, it's exactly when you do a detoxing. For example, you do a detox and you do 10 days with this juice or whatever, and your body detox. It let go all the toxins and everything. You set a new body internally, right? When you try to eat una empanada, a fried empanada, probably you feel like agruras, like burning your stomach, because you reset your body and your body knows what is good for you. So when you feel something, it's good for you, and you give it to your body going to remind you, hey, you know what? Don't come back to that because that is not synchronizing with what is good for you. And it happened because it's energy. Energy matches energy.
Yes.
Right?
It's like people are surprised that I eat every day. I am obsessed with cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, the crunchy vegetables, right? Because it also helps my bowel movement. So I depend on that. So I eat every single day. And people are like, wow. And it doesn't make you gassy. And I'm like, it doesn't have to make you gassy at all. What makes you gassy is the other food you're eating. And once you add the broccoli and the cauliflower, it's an explosion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the same. For example, people who drink so much or they smoke, when you start detoxing your body and you start doing activities and you start doing raising your vibration and your energy, your body reject what is wrong for you, but it's uncomfortable for certain time.
Correct. So the way that the body talks is by showing you signs of pain and discomfort,
Yeah, it always gonna
inflammation,
happen.
bloatness. Yes, that's how
Yeah,
the
and
body is telling us, hello, no, we don't want this. We cannot handle this. But we just eat a Pepto-Bismol or whatever, Alka-Seltzer or whatever it is, and
yes,
we keep eating
there
it
is shortcuts that at long term are the illnesses. The
because we
shortcuts,
ignored, we didn't hear the body talking to us.
yeah, it's just a curita, it's a bandage. But
Correct. So,
you,
amiga, which kind of classes you teach? Because I know you have your studio in Miami, on Beat Miami, and you teach Zumba classes every day.
I'm teaching every day, 7 p.m., and I'm teaching twice a week in the morning, and
Okay.
also Saturdays, 11 a.m.
Okay. And what other classes do you teach? The
I have
salsa.
salsa classes. I am putting now a girl who teach yogaton. It's a mix of
Okay.
yoga with some music. It's
Okay.
her class. But when I teach the Zumba regular Zumba class, that's why I always call the class on beat Zumba. On beat this, because my method here at the studio, it will always bring an intention at the beginning of the class, and at
Your
the end of the
Zumba
class
is Betsyfied.
is my Betsy style, my addiction.
Uh-huh.
But I doesn't break the formula. I just add something at the beginning, at the end
Uh-huh.
for my studio, because this is the way it feels
It's
good
your
for me.
personal touch. It's your trademark, of
Yeah.
course.
And
Amiga,
that's,
do you still teach B1 trainings?
I am not teaching B1 training, just if they call me for some specific event, which didn't happen since 2023.
Just for the listeners to know, Betsy has been a Zest for as long as I have been a Zest. Our first Zest meeting was 18 years ago.
I was pregnant of Cami.
Yes. But Betsy has always been like the special zest that goes to corporate events. So she is sent by home office to, let's say they are training somebody at a cruise line. The cruise line wants to train their people. So then Betsy goes in the boat and trains them, or sometimes they come into home office and Betsy's the one teaching the
Yeah.
training.
Or some gyms and franchises that need to be, they want to train the instructors. And then also I was doing like trainings in countries like Argentina, Costa Rica, when they didn't have CESES before.
Uh-huh.
We opened, like we were the conquerors.
Yeah, so that's why they didn't give you a specific territory, because they were sending you to different places to open the market, and then they will get it going and will hire Zest. And for the listeners, just so you know, the Zest is the Zumba education specialist. We often have territories. I believe Betsy is the only one that does it. That is a floating, energetic Zest without a particular territory.
But they never give it to me.
Because it already had other people in charge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't fair to remove it from them to give it to you. It wasn't fair to remove Florida from Beto to give it to you. I'm kidding. Amiga, so do you teach Zumba classes at Beto's gym, City Zero?
No, I can't. It's impossible because
Did you used to at the beginning?
no,
No,
I
never?
I haven't teach there since August 2020.
When he first opened.
No, he opened in pandemic. I was teaching for 2 years there, and then I stopped. When I stopped first was because my mom was in the last time, and I stopped working to be with her. And of course, because sometimes I had to cancel. It was too unstable for me, so I stopped working to be with her. And then when she passed, I opened the first studio in Hialeah, but I had a problem with the location, license of the location, because the building, not my studio, the building didn't have all the license yet. So I have to move from there and find another place. And then I came back to Little Havana, where I started in 2008. My first studio was in Little Havana. So the same owners of the studio, they call me, hey, I have a place, you have to see it. And I say, okay. And it's actually, let me clarify something here. Because people say, okay, but it's close to City Zero. First of everything, this is my area forever. Like I opened this area. Even City Zero is the continuation at some point of B2 when we had the studio together.
Beto and you.
Beto bought that place to continue the studio, but then life itself changed and we took different paths in the empresarial, in the business aspect, in the business aspect. Because I went more into the healing and holistic part, and he continued more into the gym mentality and all the things. So it wasn't the same page, and that's why we are in different places. I continue teaching Zumba actually because people ask me all the time, and I cannot do it because it's my DNA. It's already in my DNA. It's part of me. Like I speak. Actually, I can tell I am one of those bodies in Zumba. I do not do gym. I am not going to the gym. I just do stretching and Zumba.
That's how you
and
maintain your physical conditioning.
I keep my body just with Zumba. And that's because I really believe in the program.
Okay, amiga, but let's be honest. You do have great genes because you've always been athletic. And it has always been easier for you to develop muscle tone.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
My muscle has memory, but I haven't touched
a machine
since 2012.
Yes, but I want people listening to understand that this is not what we're recommending. Because I have the same situation as you.
I didn't say that.
I know I'm very blessed. I know this is all what we do. Stretching, yoga, and Zumba. Yes, and meditation, and it works for us, but we have very good genes.
Every person and everybody is different.
Yes.
Okay? I've been dancing since I am 3 years old. So my body has a composition built it through years with dancing. What means
It
is
has
I
muscle
don't
memory.
do weight because I like my body more light. I like to be more, my body more like with more mobility. I like mobility. I like to dance. I dance every day. So for me, and Zumba brought that element of fitness because I like the element of fitness in Zumba. I work a lot to my arms, for example, a lot my arms, and I see how it changed in my body, right? But it means that the program works. That's what I want to say. It doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything else. You have to do what is best for you because every person is different. Now, regarding the breath work, everybody needs to breathe correctly. That
Everybody
is
needs to
something
do breathing
scientifically proven.
techniques.
It doesn't. It's not
Nobody
a
has
difference.
ever taught us how to breathe. It's a necessity. We all need to learn how to
That's
properly
exactly.
breathe.
That's a survival thing. It's not just a physical or a joyful way to do anything. It's your breathing. It's important. And as better you breathe, as better your cells are very well oxygenated, and as better most oxygen efficiency of oxygen you have in your body, the function of your body gonna be better. It's very simple. Then eating good. Food is important. You need to be conscious of what you eat. You need to be conscious of what you think. You need to be conscious of what you feel. And accountability every day. That's why in the morning, doing the breath work and doing that grounding of just being in present, breathing and telling good things to yourself is important because
See it as romance yourself. You cannot expect that you're in a romantic relationship and be romanced by somebody if you're not even romancing yourself. How do you
yes,
romance yourself? The same way you expect your partner to romance you, telling you, hey, baby, you're beautiful, you look
yes,
gorgeous, touching
taking care of
yourself,
you. You know,
relaxing on your
you know what I
own.
love in the morning? That's why I wake up very early because when you have your kids, you have to arrange your times to have time for yourself. Something I love in the morning is I use ice in my face. I take a cup of ice and I do ice. I put ice in my face. And that sensation in the morning that I am actually taking care of me is so beautiful and I feel so good. And I can imagine because I'm very visual, right? I can imagine myself telling me, thank you.
Yes, feeling
And
the love.
that conversation with your body is important. Even if because sometimes the circumstance in our life, Maria, for example, I've been going through a lot in the last 2 years, a lot with my daughter, with my mom, with restarting a business that it doesn't work the same it was working before because the world changed, traffic increased, the prices are so high, and people have to prioritize another things.
So the challenges of your business are totally different than the same business five
Totally
years ago?
different. The business I
Wow, this
had
is
before
insane.
is not the same now.
Even
The
though you're
same
supposed to
formula
have so much experience, quote unquote, that
is
experience goes to the trash because the
that is a
world has changed.
demonstration. That is a demonstration that we need to readjust every day.
It's the key to survival, adaptability.
Is adaptability. We need the resilience, right? The famous resilience. We need to readapt to the new circumstance because the circumstances are not going to change for us. We need to recreate the circumstance. And that's something that we have the power given for God. This is a with power, right? We can recreate the circumstance by changing our energy, by paying attention how we feel exactly and be very honest with ourselves. What you feel from where it's coming is coming from my ego, from my subconscious, from all the belief I have, or is really coming from my best, right? Because sometimes we take decisions. For example, I can say if I have 4 students this week, for example, I can say I am not good enough anymore. I am no. What is happening? What is the
Get
circumstance?
discouraged. Easily to
Okay, the
get
traffic at this
discouraged.
time doesn't work. Let's change the time. The in-person classes are not working that good as before. Let's go online. Is that in our life is how to manage the business itself. Everybody has to change the structure of their business, because after pandemic, the world changed.
And for the listeners to understand, Betsy has been the head of the household for 20 years at least, since she got divorced, raising two kids on her own, taking care of her parents, because that was your system. You needed your parents to help you with your kids in order for you to take off and travel and do all these projects with Zumba, and then to keep up with your studio. So you were sustaining the whole family.
Yes.
And that's no joke.
And it's tired.
The weight of it on your emotions.
It's tired. That's why at some point I have to use pause.
Oh,
See,
for all the listeners that are still listening to us after an hour and a half, thank you so much for holding and for joining this conversation. We're having technical difficulties, so we're going to have to say goodbye. But amiga, please promise me you're going to come back, because I have so many other questions. Like, I had a very good question. I wanted to ask you about grieving. I wanted us to talk about the grieving process, because you had experienced grieving, losing a child, but then now losing your mother. How is it different? What can we do to help our grieving process? There was a lot that I wanted to talk about, and relationships and everything. So
yes,
please come back.
anytime.
Yes?
Anytime.
I love you.
I love you too,
so
and
much.
I miss you. And I miss you so much.
Me too, amiga. Me too. But hey, if you keep coming constantly to the podcast, then now we're gonna have our chats as well. And
we can make
each other
we can make
updated.
it like our date.
Yes, we can make it once a month. Maria and Betsy, once a month. Here
That sounds good.
The universe speaking truth.
And when
I love you, amiga. Thank you so much.
I love you. Always good things come out.
Thank you for your precious time. Thank you, mi amor.
Ciao. Ciao. Gracias.